the Premier League title race already over before it's truly began? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to centre around that very question being asked. Is the Premier League title race already over before it's even truly began? Arsenal go into tonight's game against Liverpool with a 5-point gap over their nearest rivals, Manchester City. And if you want to throw Aston Villa in there as well, there's another 5-point gap there between Villa and Arsenal. And if they win, of course, they could stretch that lead to 8 points come the end of game week 21. We're going to be asking that question. We're going to be looking into that question a little bit more. But before we go any further and discussing all of that and much more, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And of course, I encourage you all to get involved in the comments section down below. Do you maybe agree with me? Do you maybe disagree with me? Do you think that Arsenal will go on and bottle it again? Or do you think this time they have that reinforced mentality to finally cross that finish line from being contenders to champions? Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, down below in the comment section. I'm sure what you have to say will make for great and interesting reading, so I can't wait to read all of those. And other than that, we're going to get on with the video. We're going to get on with the conversation. We're going to be talking Arsenal, Manchester City, the Premier League title race, and maybe that being over before it's even truly began. Look, the reason I bring this up is because all week I've been saying, for anybody and everybody that will listen, that the scenario at play in my head is that Manchester City would drop points to Brighton, Arsenal will beat Liverpool, Arsenal will therefore be 8 points clear of Manchester City, and although I would love an underdog story with Aston Villa, I don't see Villa really happening. And all of those things combined kind of suggest to me, or suggested to me at the time, that Arsenal would pretty much wrap up the Premier League by the end of this week. Well, part one of that scenario has already played out. Villa 0-0 draw with Crystal Palace last night. Manchester City, third draw in a row as far as what Pep Guardiola's side is concerned, with another draw, another stalemate against, this time, Brighton. 1-1 come the final whistle against the Seagulls last night. And it all sets it up perfectly for Arsenal, who are going into tonight's game at the Emirates against Liverpool, the defending Premier League champions, of course, with the home advantage, a 5-point lead at the top of the table, and with the bit between their teeth. Let's face it, if ever Arsenal needed an extra layer of incentive in going into tonight's game, it is the knowledge that City have already dropped points this week, meaning they can stretch and extend their lead at the top of the table to 8 points come the end of this match day, come the end of Thursday, the beginning of Friday, the going into FA Cup weekend, but also then looking ahead to Carabao Cup semi-finals. Obviously, Champions League is going to begin again soon. It's going to be a wonderful time for Arsenal if they can properly extend their lead. I mean, obviously, if they flop somehow tonight, and obviously if they drop points, it's not the end of the world. They could also draw and extend their lead, well, and go back to 6 points. If they lose, City kind of close the gap. But let's be real and let's be honest, it's very unlikely Arsenal are going to lose tonight. And I'm a Liverpool fan. I would love nothing more than for Liverpool to win tonight. Of course I would. I would absolutely love a Liverpool victory. But with the way that we've been playing all season long, with the way that Arsenal have been playing all season long, with our weaknesses, our frailties, Arsenal's strengths, Arsenal's well-oiled machine style approach, I can't see it being anything more than an Arsenal win. If I had to put a percentage on it, I'm saying that Arsenal to win is probably like a 95% certainty. There's 4% in me that says maybe a draw. and I'm giving Liverpool to win 1%. I really cannot see Liverpool winning. I can barely see them scoring, in all honesty. It's either going to take a monumental error from Arsenal, or it's going to take an absolute wonder strike from someone like a Szoboszlai or a McAllister or someone like that to actually trouble David Raya in the Arsenal goal, in all honesty. But if or when the inevitable, in my head at least, will happen tonight, that will create that 8-point gap, as I said, and that's where I think this Premier League title is won. Obviously not mathematically, but realistically. I look at City and I thought several weeks ago, these lot are shifting through the gears. We're starting to see the best of Manchester City. Ryan Shirky seems to have finally found his feet. Phil Foden has rediscovered the form of a couple of years ago. Erling Haaland is still banging in goals for fun. Gianluigi Donnarumma has been excellent between the sticks at Manchester City. The defence still has question marks, but it's been solid enough, and the midfield seems to have found a little bit of rhythm, especially from the likes of Thierry Reinders. But past few games, like I say, it has seemingly come apart. The wheels have fell off, and Manchester City have struggled to kill games off, which has been somewhat unlike Pep Guardiola and Manchester City in recent years. They have really struggled to kill games off in recent weeks, and it's been telling that, of course, they've dropped points in multiple games since since Christmas, since the new year, and it's opened this huge door and window of opportunity for Arsenal to take full advantage of, and for their fans to really get behind the side. And like I say, I think the atmosphere tonight at the Emirates is going to be one of excitement, one of optimism, and one that is going to be very hostile for those Liverpool players. The Arsenal fans can feel it. They have got a lot to obviously feel good about in terms of competing on multiple fronts, but also becoming Premier League champions for the first time in over 20 years. Add that to the fact that when you look at Arsenal's remaining fixtures, barring Tottenham and Manchester City themselves, they all have the big ones at home. The big games are at home. So starting tonight against Liverpool, they're at the Emirates. Chelsea, I believe, they're at the Emirates. Man United, as much as you may want to laugh at United right now, we all know that in the big games, they can sometimes turn it up a few extra notches because of rivalry and history. They're at the Emirates. So, barring, like I say, those two games in particular, and even some of the more difficult games that you would say are banana skins, the likes of Newcastle, I believe Everton is as well. Again, the home advantage falls nice and firmly in Arsenal's court, in Arsenal's possession, in Arsenal's hands. So the fixtures have fallen beautifully for Arsenal, considering and not just obviously the fixtures, how they've fallen, but of course how Arsenal have played it in the first half of the season. It's fallen beautifully for Arsenal. And here's the thing as well. I know they won't win every game from now until the end of the season, but it's difficult to see who catches them. It's difficult to see who puts the pressure on, especially when you consider that City, like I say, have dropped points. And you can probably see City dropping more points as the season wears on. It's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination, but the 8-point gap will open up a big space of breathing room for the Gunners. And then not only that as well, but it also means then you can maybe afford to rotate a little bit. You can maybe afford to, maybe put a little bit more priority into other competitions and other tournaments. The Champions League for them is pretty much wrapped up. They're safe and soundly seemingly through to the knockout stages, regardless of what happens in the remaining 2 games of that league phase of the competition. Okay, maybe they could get an easier draw in the round of 16 stage by being high, but as we know, that's not always a guarantee and a given. Look at what happened with Liverpool last season when they had to face PSG in the round of 16 stage, who of course went on to go on and win that competition. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play that. They've got the Carabao Cup semi-final coming up against Chelsea, which again would be a big opportunity for a trophy. And imagine the kind of shot in confidence and mentality that can produce and bring to a squad, especially if they get their first taste of silverware. Remember, Jose Mourinho used to take that competition seriously with the mindset that because the final takes place end of February, beginning of March time, it would give the team the confidence to kick on and go forth with the confidence of that win, that triumph, and obviously see what they can do in the remainder of that season. So don't just discount the Carabao Cup just because it may not be high on the priority list. It can be mentally, at least, a big mental boost to those Arsenal players. And then, of course, the FA Cup starts. Of course, it's going to depend on... Sometimes it will depend on what draw you get, when you get those fixtures, that kind of thing. But again, you would probably consider Arsenal to be strong favourites for that competition. I hate the fact that I'm talking about Arsenal in this way, and I hate the fact that I'm almost alluding to the possibility that there could be a quadruple on for the Gunners and Mikel Arteta this year. But let's face it, until it's not a possibility, it's a possibility. However slim you may feel about it, however biased you may feel against it, it's a possibility. And like I say, their strong league position puts them in a good position to potentially focus on those kinds of areas and those kinds of competitions going forward the later the season wears on, especially if they are allowed and afforded the luxury of rotating their squad to keep their best players fit for the more important games to come. So, yeah, like I say, I've got no confidence going into tonight's game between Arsenal and Liverpool. I think Arsenal are going to absolutely wipe the floor with us, and that will mean that they are going to be 8 points clear come the end of tonight in the Premier League. And that, for me, is curtains on what hasn't even been the beginning of a Premier League title race, in my opinion. Look, those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys are thinking and feeling. Let me know in the comments section whether you agree with me, whether you disagree with me, your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure will make for great and interesting reading down below in that comment section. So please do use and abuse that section, people, and talk to me on this conversation and topic. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video. And I will see and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. Fingers crossed for Liverpool. But like I say, I don't have much hope. Take care, guys. Have a good night.